Good morning, guys. Matthew 9:18 through 26. While he was saying these things to them, Jesus, behold, a ruler came in and knelt before him, saying, My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live. And Jesus rose and followed him with his disciples. And behold, a woman who had suffered from a discharge of blood for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his garment. For she said to herself, If I only touch his garment, I will be made well. Jesus turned and seeing her, he said, Take heart, daughter, your faith has made you well. And instantly the woman was made well. And when Jesus came to the ruler's house and saw the flute players and the crowd making a commotion, he said, Go away, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping. And they laughed at him. But when the crowd had been put outside, he went in, took her by the hand, and the girl arose. And the report of this went through all that district. All right, so it's what I've been saying through all these videos going through Matthew. It's all about faith. Everything's about faith. Matthew, the theme is faith, right? And we see this ruler come before. So he is a high up. He is someone who has power, authority. And he comes and he kneels before Jesus, right? The sign of what you should do before God. He humbles himself before God. He kneels before him. And he tells him about his daughter who has died. And he says, Come lay your hand on her and she will live. Again, it's not a question. Like he's showing incredible faith. Like I know who you are. I know your power. She will live. And so then Jesus goes, but then we have the second healing here where this woman who has had a discharge of blood for 12 years. So she's obviously sick and unhealthy and struggling. And then, because of this discharge of blood, she would have been seen as unclean. So she would have been excluded from any social gatherings. She would have been an outcast. So she's got a lot of issues. And what does she do? She touches his garment. And she says, If I only touch his garment, I will be made well. Again, the amount of faith, I know who this is. I know his power. I know this is God. And if I can just touch his garment, it'll heal me. And so Jesus turned and seeing her said, Take heart, daughter, your faith has made you well. Now, it's not literally her faith that healed her. It's God who healed her. But it's because of her faith, right? It's because of her incredible faith in who he is and in his power. And she's made well. And then he goes to the house of this ruler. And there's these flute players. And it says crowds making commotions. There would be professional mourners. So people that would be hired to play flutes. There'd be women hired to wail and cry. And this would all happen quickly because the bodies would decay quickly. So this is soon after she's dead. You have these professional mourners here. And he shows up and he says that the girl's not dead. She's just sleeping. And they laugh at him. And then he puts them all out. He goes in. He takes her by the hand. Now, remember, if you're touching a dead body, the dead body is unclean. And so if you touch a dead body, then you're now unclean. But not for Jesus, right? Because he touches her and she's healed, all right? So typically, you touch unclean, you become unclean. He touches unclean, it becomes pure. And it just shows this power. And so then this is also kind of foreshadowing him raising Lazarus from the dead, and then ultimately his own resurrection from the dead. But again, we're going to keep seeing this theme, faith. Everything is about faith. And so when we pray, when we approach God, it's not, can you do this for me? It's, Lord, I know you can do this for me if it's in your will.